Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So in the last video I talked about how there was just a 7.3 magnitude earthquake which has just hit Japan. It was just a few days ago. It was off the coast of Japan, and well, it really shook us up, literally. And you know, we're a little bit worried about there's going to be some aftershocks and things like that. But as I mentioned in the previous video, one of the places which for us car enthusiasts is actually an important spot has been heavily affected, and it's Ebisu Circuit. People who go drifting and who come here on drifting adventures and vacations, they'll know, because that is one of the only spots really where foreigners can come to Japan and drift to their heart's content. For me, I've gone there with Unparalleled for the Sokokais to do some racing in the Miata before. And so in this video, we are going to, well, first I'm gonna go get some lunch and we're gonna stop by UpGarage. Later on, let's see if we can go talk to Sammit, and because he was actually there when it happened. So we'll get a bit of his thoughts and his feedback about what it means to him, and also what he sees as the path to recovery for Ebisu Circuit. Hopefully in this video, I'm helping to raise a little bit of awareness for the recovery efforts. And you know, that's not to say that Ebisu Circuit is the only thing that deserves recovery, but you know, as car enthusiasts, Ebisu Circuit is a special place, and I want to use my platform a little bit to help at least give a little bit of visibility to what's going on at Ebisu and their recovery efforts and their efforts to get a crowdfunding campaign to get things going again. So when the crowdfunding campaign is live, I will actually update the description box of this video, so check it out down below. It'll be at the very top if there is a link to the crowdfunding campaign. Man, when you see these pictures, it is pretty crazy. I'll talk about it throughout the video, but it was really hit hard. So it's gonna take probably, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to get it back to where it once was. As a community, hopefully we can do what we can to support, and even if it's only a few bucks, I'm sure it'll help a lot. So let's hop into the car, we'll head over to UpGarage, and I'll grab some food as well, and we'll continue to talk about it on the way there and while we're there. Cool. Hey, I'm ALBO, and I love JDM cars and culture. In each episode in this multi-channel crossover series, I'll go on car adventures around Japan with Captain Bradford from JDM Masters, along with our car club and fellow YouTubers Japonic, Sammit, Dustin Williams, and others. Join us as we do car stuff, explore Japanese culture, and show you what it's really like in the land of the rising sun. This is our JDM life, and we are the Super JDM Bros.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りしました。
So it looks like Sam is actually over at Scuba today. So maybe we'll just give him a call. But let's make our way down. Take the Forester today. So one of the things I love about the Forester is that it's basically a mobile home. I mean, I've taken it camping this past weekend, and so we are basically taking the Forester because a bit later I've got some meetings, so I'll probably do my meetings from the car and just like work from car. All right, let's make our way over. All right guys, so you probably have seen a few pictures of Ebisu Circuit and like the damage, but here are some more pictures and some more videos that I've managed to find myself, because I wasn't there, so these are just some stuff that I've managed to pull from the internet. And you can see over here that basically the main damage was due to this massive landslide. Over here there's like this skid pad practice area where you can practice doing drifts, and you can see like the ground has been basically completely destroyed. It looks like it's from a movie, and you can see how the landslide has just completely wiped out this huge swath of the track. You might have seen some of these pictures floating around. It's a bit of misinformation, but these pictures are actually from 10 years ago when the last super huge earthquake really heavily damaged Ebisu Circuit. But these are pictures from 2011, from 10 years ago. Yeah, you can see this year the damage was, it didn't really hit so many cars, but it was still catastrophic for the track. Yeah, man, some of these pictures are hard to look at. It's even crazier when, you know, when I think about how Sam was just there this past weekend, and honestly, while he was on the track, like, it could have happened right then and there. Who knows? That it's almost like that movie Japan 2026 or Japan Sinks 2020. It's unbelievable, straight out of a movie. Despite the somber tone I've set here, especially with this dramatic music, don't be mistaken. I do feel that there's hope for recovery. After all, as you saw in the pics from 10 years ago, Ebisu was able to come back from the disaster back then. The Japanese are remarkably resilient people. Where there's a will, there's always a way. So while we're here, let's just walk around the parking lot, see if there's any interesting cars today. So the parking lot is quite empty, but there is one car here which is completely insane, and it is this Nissan, geez, my girlfriend had one of these. A Micro, no, maybe it's different, but this is a coupe version. Micro Spec R. This thing is absolutely crazy. Look at the body, wide body kit on this thing. These insane work wheels. Look at the offset. Yeah, this thing is pretty wild. Super cool. Wow. Yeah, it looks like it's indeed a manual in there. And this is a convertible. I don't even know what to say. This thing is crazy. Now this car looks like a car from Capsule Corp. I mean, this is as well a normal S660, but this is pretty insane. This is cool as well. These Mitsubishi Delicas. These are like kind of huge off-road vans. They're pretty hardcore. Here at UpGarage, this is the Machida one. One of the cool things is that they sell old used tires, which are really great for drifting. And you know, there's a lot of people who are, even in 2021, really into drifting as a motorsport. They go all the way from here all the way to like Ebisu on the weekends. It's not that far, it's only like 6 hours. About like 6 hours to Ebisu, right?
Yeah, 5 to 6.
Yeah. Did you hear what happened? Did you hear about like Ebisu got like completely destroyed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope it gets fixed soon. How do you feel about it?
Feels like heartbreak, but those are stuff that we couldn't control.
That's right. Yeah, like natural disasters, right? Yeah, it happens. You can just hope to be a little bit prepared, but even the best preparation is never enough sometimes. With crowdfunding campaigns, anybody can make one, right? So you guys have to be really careful to make sure, if you want to support the official correct one. And like I said, it's going to be in the description box. So just be careful. A lot of scams can go around. Oh, like I was saying, look at this. 1,000 yen, about 10 bucks per tire. And they do stock them in like the bigger sizes for, you know, wide wheels for drifting. Yeah. Japan is really still all about drifting. Man, when you come to a place like this, like UpGarage, which is just all about cars, it's kind of like a microcosm of Japan. So, you know, like everything, even though it's used, everything is still in really good condition, because in general, Japanese people take really good care of their things. In a way, you could kind of say that about Ebisu Circuit as well. It's kind of like one of Japan's treasures. Like, it's one of the only places where, you know, people can go there with their janky drift cars, and even though they're kind of janky, you know, people still really love those cars, and they have a specific purpose, and that's somewhere where they can go and take them to drift. And now that place is, you know, well, who knows if it's still gonna be around. So that's kind of one reason why we have to support it. It's a very special place, and not just for drifting, but for circuit as well. You know, this is the place where Japan's JDM legends are still able to really stretch their legs. It's like a playground for car enthusiasts. You know, when you were a kid and you had like those jungle gyms at McDonald's, and you could just jump in there, like into the ball pit, go on a slide. It's kind of like that, or it's kind of like Disneyland for car enthusiasts. You know, it really has everything. It has like tracks for drifting, it has tracks for running grip, and man, if that place disappears, it'll be really, really, really sad. I mean, like, you know, this year I was planning to start drifting with Sam, but you know, with the state of everything, who knows if that's gonna be feasible. But fingers crossed, man. See, set to that. Yeah, so for lunch, I just really felt like having a ramen. So I came across the street to this place called Ippudo, and there's like a express version. Look how good that looks. Tonkotsu, and with a side of karage, and this whole thing costs $10. Ooh, look at that. The reason you slurp it is to get all that flavor from the broth. As an aside, I know we were talking about Ebisu Circuit and the earthquake that happened there, but in a broader sense, you know, of course living in Japan is great. We get to have amazing ramen like this for $10. We can experience car culture. It's just really nice to live here. But one of the scary things about living here is really the possibility, or really the inevitability of an earthquake happening. It's something that crosses my mind a lot. Way more than I would like. Especially because, you know, scientists have acknowledged, come to a consensus that within the next 50 years or so, before 2050, there's a 70% chance of a big earthquake, a really big one, hitting Tokyo. Alright guys, all done work for the day. Sorry, I was just filming that stuff during my lunch break. But first we're gonna head to kickboxing. I need to get my workout in. Then once we get back, we're gonna give Sam a call. We'll just chat with him a little bit about his experience with the earthquake and stuff like that. And he'll give us an update. I've already been talking to him on the phone, but he's still driving, so once he gets back, we'll give him a call. So anyways, time to hit the bags. Pew, 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 pew. Nothing like a good workout to release some stress. All right, let's talk to Sam, but first let me take a quick shower, and yeah, cool. Alright guys, to be honest, it is actually the next day. Sam was busy, so I couldn't call him, and I just played Super Mario with my girlfriend. But anyways, we're gonna give Sam a call, and let's just see what he's got to say, and then we'll wrap up the video. Okay. Hey Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I think we're all glad you're alive. It must have been insane.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. Like, I've experienced like 4s and 5s like here in Japan, like just mild ones. And like I was down in the hotel lobby actually editing on my laptop. So I had my headphones on, and so I couldn't hear anything, but the ground just started like kind of moving, and I was like, oh, it's just a little earthquake. And then like 10 seconds in, I'm like, it's still going. This is a bit weird. I'm like, I wonder if it's going to be a big one. Probably not. And as I just said that, that's when like the big impact kind of hit. And like the only way I could describe it is like I was sitting in my chair, and then all of a sudden like I was thrown like left and right like 2 to 3 meters, and I fell out of the chair. I hurried under the table, and then that was when I like kind of pulled out my phone and started filming as it started settling down. But the whole thing lasted like a good 30 seconds. It was insane. Probably one of the scariest things I've experienced, to be honest.
Oh my god, guys, this is the craziest experience and the biggest earthquake. Oh my gosh. I'm under their table right. Did you fear for your life? Were you like, this might be it?
Definitely, like, when I was under the table, I was like, what happens if this hotel comes down? Like, you know, it's a multiple story building and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm probably in the worst place. and like, I was like, is this table going to even protect me? Like, I didn't even know, you know, like everything just kind of, you know, like flashed in my mind at that point, which was insane.
10 years ago, like I was here for the big one too, and it was like right after junior high school graduation ceremony. So I was just like chilling at home, and like my TV fell over and like everything just went crazy, and I was on the 3rd floor, and I thought, okay, if I stay here, this whole building might come down. So I just risked running out the door and like just making it outside. And I remember when I was outside, I looked at the building. It's like a 3-story building. The whole thing was swaying like jello.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Like, it just, yeah. And then like it traumatizes you, like in a sense where like, you know, like all the aftershocks, you know, like sleeping that night was like impossible because like any kind of vibration or anything, it was like PTSD or whatever, right? Like you just light vibration and you'd be like, oh, and it'd all flash back to you and you'd be like, oh, do I need to run outside? Like it was pretty crazy. In fact, like everyone in my hotel all didn't go back to their rooms. They all stayed in one like big open room and just put like all of the you know, like the futons on the ground, and we all slept together in this one room just in case, like another big kind of thing, and we were all together. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad you're able to get back. Like I heard like the trains and roads were all closed for a while.
Yeah, everything was closed while they double checked everything. Luckily the highway didn't really sustain much damage, so I was able to get home the next following day after we went to Ebisu Circuit and had a look there.
Yeah, and you're going back this weekend, right?
Hopefully, yeah, I should be going back there just to kind of like do some filming and talk with the owner and like an update kind of progress video.
I'll direct people to your video as well. Like, check the description box. But like, I think it might be a good chance to, you know, clear some misconceptions and maybe set the story straight a little bit. Just, you know, whatever you need to talk about. You're kind of like, I know you're kind of spearheading this whole recovery project, really.
So where we're currently at is there is 100% going to be crowdfunding for Ebisu Circuit. Right now there's over $2 million worth of damage estimated, and we're expecting that number to increase as more and more soil samples come back. At this point in time, every single track has sustained damage. Obviously Nishi and Driftland was the one up the top where the landslide started and the whole thing broke away. It's insane, actually. If you look at the pictures of where it broke away, there are black lines in a circle. Oka-chan was standing in the middle of that, and I was doing donuts around him on that very spot. They're my tire marks, like 6 hours before the earthquake hit, and that happened, which is just so surreal to think about. So Kuru Kuru Land is the top of the landslide. All of that slid down into Nishi, destroyed all of the pits at Nishi, all the buildings and all that kind of stuff. They're all gone, destroyed, down into Kuru Kuru Land. You'll see all the damage in my video when it goes live once the crowdfunding is up and running. We are so close actually to getting finally things finalized. In Japan, there's a lot of paperwork. You know this as well. So it's been a bit of a battle like with the Japanese government and working out everything so we can get crowdfunding happening legally and correctly. I'm working directly with Kumakuba-san and Sidex Japan, and we're going to be launching the crowdfunding campaign in a few days, hopefully. It looks like we've got the go-ahead on pretty much everything now. Just a few more things to be finalized, and we'll have something up and running. We're going to have a US-based GoFundMe for everyone outside of Japan, and then within Japan there'll be a specific like Japanese person, like people living in Japan, crowdfunding thing as well. And the reason for that is there's no like real crowdfunding site in Japan that is open for foreigners. Like even if a foreigner could use Google Translate and understand Japanese, you can't donate unless you have a Japanese resident like address. So that's why like we've had to figure all this stuff out and find a way to do it. I'm trying to stay positive because even if we don't raise enough, or if we do raise enough and more, no matter what, we've got the opportunity to make Ebisu better and bigger than it ever has. a lot more people are going to learn about Ebisu because of this. A lot more people are going to visit, I think, the track.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to have the opportunity to be a part of building something better and awesome at Ebisu. So I'm trying to focus on that. I know there has been like a bunch of rumors passed around that Kumakura-san doesn't want any crowdfunding and things like that. That's just not true whatsoever, and it's people who are disconnected from the situation just starting rumors is the only way I can say it. Just keep an eye on official posts from Ebisu Circuit and Kumakura-san himself, as well as myself, and once everything's official and out there, you'll see it everywhere.
Yeah, I've been to Ebisu Circuit a couple times for, because I like to run the Roadster on, was it East Course?
Higashi.
Yeah. And yeah, it must be affected too, right? Like you were saying, the whole complex is just like has really sustained like a lot of damage, and some buildings like glass broke and stuff like that. Obviously, the tracks may look good from an aerial perspective, but then you got to realize, hey, what's happened underneath them, to the soil, to the ground? Is it stable? Is it just going to collapse as a sinkhole opens? So like you have to do all these core and soil samples and stuff, and also like pretty much every track has sustained cracks and damage. So like, they need to be patched and filled up correctly, as well as all the service roads to the tracks. It's insane. Like boulders fell down like on certain places and stuff, and cracks opened up along all the service roads. It's pretty scary and crazy, honestly, what happened. Obviously, like Ebisu Circuit has, 6 different circuits and stuff like that, and it's hard to get everything done all in one hit, and it's expensive, especially considering like last year with coronavirus, they were already in a financial difficulty spot because foreigners weren't able to visit, no tourism whatsoever, so income on the track was down, and they were already struggling, and then for this to hit is just so devastating. Yeah, and like you said, it's not a small amount. It's gonna take quite a bit of support. Do you think the crowdfunding support is required for Ebisu Circuit to stay open and to reopen? Like, is it?
I think without crowdfunding, we would see Ebisu Circuit still reopen, but with minus the tracks that are heavily damaged, you'd probably only see 1 or 2 tracks functioning.
I see.
It would be open, but not Ebisu as anyone remembers.
Yeah, so it's really something that hopefully the community can come together and recognize that it's for motorsports, it's an important location. Yeah.
Look, I believe in the car community, and I really do think that we can raise a significant amount of money that's going to keep Ebisu functioning and alive. When you come to Ebisu Circuit, when you make it back to Japan, you're able to still enjoy Ebisu Circuit as Ebisu Circuit. I think I want everyone to be a part of helping Ebisu Circuit. So I'm just doing what I feel like any other car enthusiast would do if they were in my position. Like, I was there, I saw it, I walked around with them in the morning and looked at all the damage, like I experienced it, and it was just like, I don't know, I just feel like anyone else in my shoes would do the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's like this unique confluence of factors. I think you just happen to be right literally in the middle of it, and then now you're kind of like, you've been thrust into the position of helping out, get the word out, which is quite fortunate. We have these platforms, and I figured well, we can at least make a video. It's not so hard to just help get the word out, and hopefully some people see it and it gets a little bit more what's it called, visibility. Ebisu Circuit doesn't have much of a media presence or anything, so
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so mind-blowing, honestly.
Yeah, I was
it's
really
so surreal, to be drifting there, and then literally 6 hours later the whole thing pretty much get destroyed.
Yeah. And I was really looking forward, next month or something, or next couple months, heading up there, and you during Matsuri, and just learning to get some skids out. But it's hopefully things will work out, and I'm just glad you're one of the people spearheading this. I can't think of somebody who is literally more in it. And yeah, man, I have faith it'll get better. So yeah. Thanks for doing the call with me. I think this is long enough. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. Huge thanks to Sam for coming onto the video just to give his thoughts and just to give you guys the actual on-the-ground facts of what's going on. This is a developing story, but the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, Ebisu Circuit is going to need some support if it's going to stay open, like Sam said. My final thoughts are, you know, Ebisu Circuit, just like Tsukuba, just like Nikko Circuit, like all the circuits, you know, Japan is very lucky to have all these circuits running, but Ebisu Circuit is kind of a special place because they really have been open to foreigners coming in and having like these drift vacations, basically, where you can come to Japan, you can literally buy a car, drift it at the circuit for like a week or two while you're on vacation, and then have it stored there while you go home to your home country, and then come back a year later to do more drifting like the next season. It's really cool and it's really unique, and it is thanks to the people, the folks who are working there, who are very passionate about motorsports. And once again, please check out the description box to see if there is a crowdfunding campaign which has been set up. I'm sure there will be by the time you're watching this, and so just check it out. I will also be staying safe. I'll do what I can to prepare for the next earthquake. In a future video, I'll make a earthquake kit and just to show you my preparedness and things like that. So thanks again, thank you for subscribing. And I think a bunch of you guys are new to the channel, so thank you for watching, subscribing, and I'll just leave it at that for today. So thank you, peace.